Hello YouTube, this is Curious Creature, and I have a video for you today that's just a compilation of a number of ideas that I've heard from YouTube, other gurus and makeup artists and such, and so I just want to say how much I appreciate that, and that this collection is really based on a lot of that knowledge. And so if you're interested in how you can create a different organization system or just ideas that you might help to incorporate into your system, stay tuned. What you're looking at here is really based on lots of sample sizes that I've gotten from MAC Pigments and TKB Trading and Farinay and such, because you can actually create a great eyeshadow collection from samples, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that. But the purpose of this video is really an organizational one. What you're looking at here is the Muji system, and on the left you see the 5-drawer system on the bottom, and that's ideal for certain things. Above that, stacked on top of that, is the 2-drawer large Muji system that is needed for larger products and ones that have kind of a deeper base, like the paint pots and such, which don't fit into the 5-drawer system. So be sure you kind of consider, when you're considering a system, consider that you're going to need just different sizes of drawers based on what your project looks like. And then on the right side, you'll see 3 of the 2-drawer systems stacked one on top of another, and those are needed for the eyeshadow collection that you see. The organization system is really based on depotting everything. I even sample sizes. I know that sounds crazy, but it really just works for me. Very rarely do I leave anything in its original packaging because it just doesn't work visually for me, and I also want to separate everything by shade. And so the only way to do that is to really depot everything. The pucks that you see here come from TKB Trading, and so for instance on the left is Faux Tan. It's one of the very best bronzers you can get, but you know, everything just kind of gets depotted and put into these pucks from TKB Trading, and it just helps me stay organized. Now looking below into the 5-drawer part, it's ideal for things like you know, eyeshadow pencils, and also, you know, I'm just not a big lip color gal. You know, I just have to put my makeup on in the morning, and then the makeup is kind of on its own the rest of the time, and it needs to stay on my face and not slide around and all that. So one of the things that I do is I depot all of my lipsticks, with the exception, I've just kind of got one there in the back that I need to still do. But you know, Makeup Forever, MAC, all that, I take the bullet and I literally take the lipstick out of its bullet and then press it into these things that you can get at TKB Trading, and it just helps you really stay organized and gives you just quite a bit of range of color even in that little space. Right there you're going to see MAQ Pro. I got that from Camera Ready Cosmetics, and then you'll see some other liners and such in there. Now on the bottom you'll also see some other kind of organizational techniques I've used here. One of the things that I've also done is I've taken some micas, pigments, and created a number of my own lip glosses, and I would really suggest to you, if you're trying to develop a big collection, that one of the ways that you can do that inexpensively is to buy the micas from TKB Trading, the Versagel from TKB Trading, the container from TKB Trading, which costs a minimal amount, and then whatever lip gloss you want to make, you know, you can just use your own creativity and make it from the micas and such that you can get from there. It's a great way to build a large collection without spending a lot of money. You'll also see some Farinay in here, and also I adore the lip tars because they last a long time and you can also mix and match. Now the main part of my collection here really is in the Muji system on the right. This is a very large eyeshadow collection, but it's large only in the sense that it has a lot of variety. You'll notice that in a lot of these drawers, like let me pull open the top one here, that you may not see a lot of product in that drawer. A lot of the sample sizes I get are a 1/4 teaspoon, and that may not seem like a lot, but you can get 30 to 40 uses of eyeshadow. If you've got a fairly large collection, 30 to 40 uses out of a 1/4 tablespoon is going to give you a lot of product, and you use a tiny bit amount when you do your eyeshadow, and so I just found that to be a really practical way of building a lot of variety but not spending a lot of money. And I'll have some of the best ways to get samples in my video. And where a lot of this collection comes from, I've got a lot of MAC pigments, probably 30 to 40. The other thing I've done is I've got a lot of the TKB trading pigments in there, as well as Fierne is Dynamite. I want to be sure that I want to show you some of that because, you know, for instance, the taupes in here are just amazing from Fierne. You know, you're looking at probably 20-30 taupes from Fierne, and they're some of the highest quality that you're going to find. I wanted to mention where the vials come from. This is actually a bead storage system, and a number of YouTube gurus have talked about this. So this is not an original idea of mine. I just borrowed it in my collection, and this fits about 3 to 5 grams of product, which is an enormous amount. When you start working with pigments and lose some of the very, very high pigmented products, you find that you use so very little, which is great because that means you're only going to use a little bit in your makeup every day, and then and it's just, you can store an awful lot of product in a very small space. And so you can get these at, you know, Michael's craft store and such. But now the next thing I wanted to show you is what's in the left drawer, because this is a functioning drawer in the vanity desk. I've taken everything apart, everything is depotted, and you'll notice that these are basically, those are my highlighters. One of the standouts there is Mary Manizer, which is a Dynamite highlighter. Bronzers, I'm a big fan of the Too Faced bronzers. Above that, La Femme blushes, which are my personal favorites. I've got NARS as well, but that's a personal favorite. There's very inexpensive, and you can put together a very large collection with La Femme. Go to Makeup Mania, it's great. And then what you're seeing here is, these are the freestyle palettes. You can no longer get those from TKB Trading, but you can get Z palettes, and it's basically the same thing. And so that's basically Urban Decay shimmers. And then above that, Inglot mattes. And this is all basically Urban Decay, the Naked palette, and all of that just basically depotted into a style and shade organization that just seemed to work best for me. In the center, we have a couple of inserts. These were just like $1 a piece at Bimart, and then I also have my own foundation that I make, mineral foundation. You can get the recipes from TKB Trading, but that's on the left. That's stored there. I've got probably 2 to 3 years worth of foundation that's been made, and then some mineral veils that I've made, some the Beauty Blender dupe, and then some lip colors that I've made as well. And then if you start doing any of your, you know, makeup collection the same way that I've done it with the pigments and things, you're going to want to get some of the scoops. So you can get that from TKB Trading. The other thing that you're going to want to get too is you're going to want to do, if you want to do any wet work, you're going to need some Visine, I think is a staple. When I go to put eyeshadow on, I typically always start with Visine. The other thing that you can do if you want to convert your pigments into a liner, then get something like this from TKB Trading as well. And any of the pigments, keep in mind, they can be turned into many things. They can be turned into lip glosses or liners or, of course, eyeshadow. On the right side of the vanity, I really don't have very much, except I've got some samples there towards the back of the drawer, and then the two most functional parts is the mixing palette here. You can get that at a craft store for, you know, $1, $2. On the right side is a stainless steel thing that I got from Camera Ready Cosmetics. A lot of the professionals use these, and you'll want to have something to mix your different products with. And that's basically it.